Hello and welcome to Patched. I'm your host Paul James. Today I'm joined by Matto Phillips. How's things, mate?
Oh yeah, not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Big month of games. Big month of. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
like your first full
bigger.
month settled back in off the
Yeah, I
back
was
of
gonna
the
say
travels.
bigger than last month. Let's just say that.
Bigger than my month. So we've got a few games that we're going to discuss. You've got, what do you say, about 5 or 6? I've got 2.
Five,
It's a little
five.
bit tamer for me this month, but there's certainly a big hitter that's come out. They're coming out this week that I can talk a little bit about. Kick things off for us, mate. Get the ball
Right.
rolling. What have you been playing?
Well, to start off with, this is the beginning of cleaning out the old backlog of games.
Backlog time.
Backlog time. I've got onto new Pokemon Snap.
Oh yeah, we were talking
Played
about
it.
that last month, so it was just finishing
Yeah,
up.
played it, finished it. Let's be honest.
It's Pokemon
It's
Snap.
not. It's Pokemon Snap. I don't know what the Apple was meant to do. I don't know what. Was there a puffy ball there? I can't remember.
I mean, the apple was
Or
from like, the
the
original
glory
game.
ball.
That was like they'd stop
Yeah,
and they'd eat it, right? And then
yeah. They don't. I don't know what they do with it. And then the glow ball. Don't know what that does. And especially the flute or whatever that recorder,
the old
whatever you want to
Poké
call it. No idea what that did because I played it all the time
they
and
didn't go to
got
sleep.
ignored.
I can't remember now.
God, don't know. Anyway, finished it. Great. Move on.
Move on with your life.
Move on with the life. Here you go. And I thought, you know what? I'll go back and play some old school Pokemon. So I decided to play. We talked about it last month, I think. Pokemon Shining Pearl,
Yes, we did talk about it a bit last month.
and I still stand by it. It sucks.
It's kind of the first
Well,
of the remakes that people have genuinely been ho hum about.
I think it's not so much like the combat and all that. I think it's just the choice of Pokemon is very poor. That is
Yeah.
why I look at it, because I go, right, I need this type of Pokemon, this type of Pokemon. There's what, 150 or 200 Pokemon? I can't remember how many it's meant to be. No dark Pokemon whatsoever. None.
Not a single
Maybe
one.
one.
I didn't realize that.
Maybe one. I was just looking at the stupid crow. That's it. That's your one dark Pokemon. It's a shitty
Okay, so
flying
it's
bird.
Gen 4 Pokemon. That is just to make sure I'm clear. Yeah, we're talking about Gen 4. This is like where Turtwig, Chimchar, and Piplup are the starters.
First three, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
They sound about right.
I'm scrolling through.
Find me a good Pokemon.
I'm just trying to find a dark one to your initial point. So there's Honchkrow, but that's just obviously an evolution of Murkrow, which was a Gen 2 Pokemon. Stunky and sorry, cunt. Oh, wow.
Oh wow!
What an awful name, Skuntank. Any wonder I nearly made that mistake. Whew, dodged a bullet there, seriously, in the show. Spirit Tomb, but that's a ghost dark Pokemon.
Makes no sense. Zero sense. Also, there is a
Drapion,
fighting.
Poison Dark. But yeah, there's not many.
Also,
You don't really have
rubbish.
Weevil, which is obviously an evolution in itself. Yeah, there's not a lot. There's not a lot on the dark front.
And also some confusing mixes too. Yes. What am I going to do with the fighting psychic? Makes no sense. Or a water ground also makes zero sense. I scratched my head at that. In utter confusion of how the hell does a water ground Pokemon work?
Yeah, there's some strange thinking with some of the designs here, but of course, Gen 5 is next, and that's our mate. I think that's the birth of our mate.
Doof.
Oh well, no. Is Bidoof?
What was I saying? Yeah. Oh, actually, funny thing
I was
though,
getting
the
more
first,
at Garbodor, but
oh, Garbodor. I was just saying the first Pokemon I caught in Shining Pearl was a Bidoof. Just the absolute irony of that. It's like, oh, it's a Bidoof. I'll just catch it just for laughs.
Damo.
And I haven't used it since because it's a normal Pokemon and normal Pokemon
Yeah,
are rubbish.
Garbodor is Gen 5, so when we get that update, it's time, mate.
Oh man, I don't know how long I played that for. I played it for like 6 hours and then I thought, you know what?
Enough.
I'm stopping. Enough. Stop. Go play something else. So that's what I did. But go play one of your other backlog games, which was I decided to go back.
Sorry, at some point I am keen to, I started playing the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. At some point I will go back and actually kind of finish them up, just to kind of tick that box. But I did what I needed to do at the time and happily moved on with my day.
That's what I should have done instead of my week. too much damn time. No Dicklets. That's
No
disappointing.
Dicklets.
Shame. And then I decided to go into another backlog game, which was finally Yakuza Like a Dragon. A game where I got incredibly angry because bosses or enemies too damn hard.
Yeah, I keep hearing that there's like a brutal difficulty spike in that one in particular. Less so in
Yeah.
Infinite Wealth, but in the original Like a Dragon.
Yes. So I finally finished it. That's all I can say. I'm glad I finished it. It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's good. But those last few chapters for fighting really sucks. Mainly because it's a turn base. Not
Yep.
not your usual like I can dodge like like dodgeball, dip, dive, dip, whatever it is.
Dip,
Dodge,
dodge, dip,
dive.
dive, duck, and dodge.
That's the ones. That's what you could do in the original ones. This one you can't do that. It sucks. I hate it. I'm glad.
And love it a little bit at the same time.
Yes. So that got finished. I'm glad I finished it, even though it did suck. I had to do an incredibly annoying grind. Wasn't a good type of grind. It's just this grind of leveling up because bosses too hard. Not too hard, like incredibly difficult, I should say,
And super grindy, right?
and super grindy. And it sucked. I don't like that. Like I play Assassin's Creed, like was it Odyssey? People complain like, oh, there's a jumping like, what would you call it? Difficulty. That's
Yeah,
the
difficulty
word.
spike.
And I didn't do that because all I did was go explore for like 20 to 30 hours.
So you were super overpowered.
Leveled up so much, super overpowered. I thought, oh, what are they talking about? This is really easy. I was like, oh yeah, but you did all that stuff. So okay, well, fair enough.
I mean, look, yeah, fair enough on one hand, but also on the other hand, you're playing the game your way, right? Like you've played it the
Yes.
way you've wanted to,
I mean-
and it's meant that some bits have been easier.
And
but like,
I say, if I didn't do it, I would have found the greatest story in Assassin's Creed history of I had sex with your dad and killed your mum. I would never have found that if I didn't go exploring. Still one of the greatest side stories. Sorry, Witcher, but it tops it. It tops it. Overall, Witcher, you have better side stories, but that Assassin's Creed one is at the top. It will never move, ever.
I have
So
to
now-
just find the clip now.
Well, where the poor man runs away in absolute shock of, oh, you got my armor. Oh, we killed him. Oh, that's my mum. Oh, Dad. Oh, dude, what are you doing? He's trying to find it.
I am
He is
trying to find it, but and I'm sure I'll be successful. But it's not great viewing. So
But so I finished that. So it only means now I've still got, I think I figured out the other day, probably 6 more Yakuza Universe games. So 2 Judgment, Infinite Wealth, Ichin, Man Who Erased His Name, and I'm a Pirate.
I have tried out a little bit of I'm a Pirate. I don't really count it as one of the games that I'm playing for the month. I tried it out because
They had a wasted opportunity. What did they call it?
Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Sorry, Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii,
They ruined it. They should have gone with like a pirate.
or Pirates in the Hawaii. No, yeah,
They should have gone Yakuza like a pirate in Hawaii.
yeah.
Wasted opportunity. Oh well. And then onto that one, I thought I got to finish another game, and I continued to play. And that was Indiana Jones.
Oh, Great
and
Circle,
Great Circle.
which you're now
Great
done with.
Circle. It is done.
Nice.
I'll be honest. I thought, oh yeah, I've been playing it for that much. I've been roaming around doing this. Looked at how long I've been playing for. It was 15 hours. I was
That's
just
not too
roaming
bad, mate.
around. Not that was. I hadn't even finished the story yet. I was just roaming around in the second level, whatever you want to call it. I thought,
Yeah.
oh, I better start finishing this. So I wouldn't say necessarily rushed it. I stopped doing the side activities.
Yeah, you
I
rushed
went-
it. You kind of golden pathed it from there.
There is a good reason why for that. I just thought, okay, I think I'm leveled enough. I found enough books to upgrade stuff. I don't need this anymore. I've
Okay.
done enough. But I will say this. There are some great references to the 3 movies of Indiana Jones, which I had a good giggle with.
3 real movies, right?
The only movies, like Jurassic Park. Everyone's just like, oh, what movies of Jurassic Park do you reckon I should watch? I said, watch the first one, and forget the rest. Don't even watch them. Like even the Jurassic World ones, don't watch them. Just watch Jurassic Park and ignore the rest. Just
Okay,
like
fair enough.
Indiana Jones, just watch the first 3 and ignore, was it the other 2? The 2? Yes, 2.
Yeah, the 2 most
Yeah.
recent ones. Dial of
And ignore
Destiny
2.
is the most recent, and
The
Kingdom of the
Crystal
Crystal
Skull,
Skull.
or whatever it is. No, let's be honest. No one cares. Real fans know it's the first 3. And only those
Yeah.
3. But like I said, Troy Baker, brilliant as Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. Great voice acting, as you have alerted to, saying he's sort of dropped the ball a little bit over the last few years.
He just sounded like Troy Baker, that was all.
Right, he might win some. He might win an award at the Game Awards this year, unless Ben Starr's
Yeah.
there.
I mean, Ben Starr is going to be in the first Berserker and... Oh, damn. That JRPG, the French-developed JRPG that I'm right into. Clair Obscur Expedition 33.
Oh yeah,
So
that's right.
Ben Starr's, he's going to put out some competition, and there's obviously going to be some other awesome jobs done by people over the course of the year. So we'll see.
I was gonna say, if there was best meme of the Game Awards, it would have gone to Ben Starr when he got absolutely flashed.
Was that even...
I did.
I don't know.
That was the year before, I think. It was when he was in the Final Fantasy game, 16.
Yeah, 16.
So whatever year that was. And then
2020.
he tweeted or posted. He's prepared this year. He's wearing glasses. I thought, he's full of jokes, that man, and I
He's
like
a very
it.
funny bloke. Thrilled to have been able to speak.
It's nice to see someone with a sense of humor. That's all I'll say. That takes the piss out of himself and just doesn't get angry at people. Go, oh, shut up! Don't do that. It's like, hey, I'm taking this all on board. Like,
Yeah.
I'm also disappointed he didn't get the role as Mario. But hey, we can't win them all.
Fuck. Yeah. So some of his audition videos, but yeah, Mario's in particular, top shelf.
So we sort of rushed through that because there was a good reason why I rushed it. Because the next game I thought I've got to get some practice in.
Oh.
I had to get some practice in.
I thought we were going to do a bit of co-op in this one.
Oh yeah. Oh well. After 5 years of not playing Monster Hunter World, I returned to Monster Hunter World.
Good.
And my goodness, Monster Hunter Lotus. Right. So I was looking at it going, man, this is rubbish. I played the game for 90 hours. I'm scratching my head going, how the hell did I get this far into the game with my loadouts? Because this was like way before I even paid attention to it. And then I started playing Monster Hunter Rise, and then I started to understand it more. So I started playing Iceborne because I got to Iceborne and then I just stopped. I just stopped there. And then I came up to a Viper something or other.
Viper Toby Kadachi, yeah.
Yeah, I got my ass kicked. Bad.
I mean, you got further than me then before I got my ass kicked, because for me it was Barnbro.
So the second one? Big horns?
Yeah. Big ram-like guy.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
I'm like, oh, hang on, this is where I need to get myself back up to speed again.
I reckon I fluked that. I'll scratch my head going, I have pulled like this out of my ass, something shocking. And then I got to that. I think I used up the entire 50-minute time limit. I reckon I got knocked down about 7 times. It was a lot. I was getting bashed badly. So I did the one thing I never thought I'd do. I Googled that Viper thing to see what was the best weapon, what was the best armor. And for the next, 5 to 6 hours, that's all I did was go and
just farm.
Hunt. Just farm. Just went and got the materials for it. Went back to it again. Did it in no time. 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Just absolutely destroyed it. But also, too, I will say, one thing I wish I did back in Monster Hunter World was just put out that SOS straight away instead of going, you know what? I think I need help. Instead, now, anytime now, it's like, right, can I have an SOS? Yep. All right, I'm putting that SOS out. I don't care. And oh no, man, sometimes it's ridiculous. Sometimes you get 4. It's just this one big monster, and it's just absolutely getting the shit knocked out of it within 3 minutes. Done. I was like, oh, this is so much easier.
I know, and people just come piling in. The community is still like pumping at this particular point. It was nice to just kind of fire out an SOS when I
Yeah,
needed to, and just
it's
pull
crazy.
people
It's
in.
like within 2 minutes, like bang, someone's here. I was like, oh, cool. And then I
Yeah.
just laugh because they take 5 minutes to get there because they're doing the same thing I did once. When Harvest is there, they're like, oh, there's a monster. And then 2 minutes
Oh
later,
right, the
they
job.
and then they did the job. I was like, oh, I've got to run as fast as I can to go, gather materials for it. Didn't get there. I didn't know where I was going. Got lost. And that's the other thing too. Somehow, I don't know why, my map was fixed. So stupid move. Instead of the old rotating map, so you know which way to go.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at it going, what am I doing?
I like
Like
the
all
mini
these
map.
dumb things. Yeah, the mini map. So like I use rotate maps now because I found out this may surprise people. It's a lot easier to figure out your directions instead of going, is it this way or that way? Instead of like, is that up or down? And then if you do a rotating map, you'll go, oh, it's so much easier now. It's down.
I mean, some of those areas are a little bit disorienting. I still kind of get it, but yeah, the your map situation didn't help.
Oh no, but like I said, I go back and now scratch pad going, my God, how did I get this far into the game, finish the game with this loadout?
Well, yeah, you said you
Blows
didn't
my mind.
SOS really at all, so that's a fair effort to have gotten through the main campaign and dealt with some
Because
of
I
the big
thought I was
boys like
like, I don't.
Nergigante and Teostra and all those
I
sorts of
think it was
guys
just,
without.
I think it was just back there. I was like, nah, I want the money for myself. Screw you guys. And then I fainted like 4 times. And if I just, asked for an SOS, I would have had more money because I lost a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But I can just say now, I'm ready for Wilds.
Did you get Iceborne done though?
No, I'm a long way off Iceborne.
Surge, mate. Like, I mean, let me double check the times with all my trophies. Especially if you decide you want to rely on SOS, you could smoke that. Like so I got the beginning a new expedition back in 2021, because I did it on a burner that they'd set up for me. But then yeah, didn't like finally did the 2-star ranks the 6th of Jan. By the 9th of Jan, that was 3 stars. By the 11th of Jan, that was 4. By the 13th, that was 5, and then by the very next day, it was then done. So in the space of a week, I
I've
blew through
only
all
got,
those, and that was
I've got
relying
4
on.
days.
But you're further along than what I was at that point. With a bit of SOS, you could just blitz your way through that, I reckon.
Good. Maybe I'll try my best because that's all I'm doing. I've got no other games that need finishing. They're all done
That's it.
for now because everything is basically going to be Monster Hunter Wilds for the next God knows how long.
Is that the perfect segue? Do you have any other games to talk about?
No, that's it. I'm
Well,
done.
that segues over to what I've been playing, which is Monster Hunter Wilds. If anyone's had the opportunity, if you're listening on the Patch podcast feed, you'll notice that about 5 hours before this, review discussion is live between myself, Matt Hughes, and Jason Hawkins, talking all about that game. As of when I record this, we're doing it in about 20 minutes or so. So I don't know how that conversation is going to play out, but I do know that we've given the game a mighty A- score on the website, which is like a 9 out of 10 or higher. There's some minor things. Matto, you'd be familiar from some of the beta talk, and I think we even commented a little bit. There's some pretty rough, low-res sort of textures that were in the beta, and that's the case in the main game as well on the console. I'm really keen to chat to Matt tonight, who was actually playing the game on PC, and see whether that was still the case on PC as well. But like, there's some visual stuff that's not great, but as a gameplay experience, holy shit, it's good. The open world, so like it's not. How's the best way of describing it? It's not just like a full-blown open world. We're not talking about like a big open world RPG or a GTA or something like that. It's more like you've got those separate regions, like what you've seen in Monster Hunter World and all these other Monster Hunters, Rise, etc. But there's like a path that will connect them all up, and so
Oh, really?
it's almost like almost Tomb Raider, like some of the more recent Tomb Raider-esque ones, where you had those open zones.
Oh, yeah.
Now these are
Yes.
big environments, just like Monster Hunter World, but then there's a pathway, and that'll take you to the next township or whatever, or it'll lead you to the next kind of biome or whatever. So you could just hit the road and decide to go from region to region to region if you wanted to, and not have to fly across to a different part of the map or any of those sorts of things. Like, they are connected up, which is really kind of cool. And I think the sacrifices some visual quality in some areas. Like all the talk about the Final Fantasy VII Remake door, there's lots of Final Fantasy VII Remake door style moments in Monster Hunter Wilds. So yeah, it looks a bit rough in that regard, but the gameplay experience is amazing. Like I mentioned, there's the open world and how that works. The combat feels really good. I think it's more generous than before. Like I haven't had the ability in this pre-launch period to kind of rely on SOSs or any of those sorts of things, like, or co-op play of much of any sort. And I kind of tried to avoid it as well, so I could really comment on it properly. And it did, like, the game hasn't really caused me too many headaches. I think that they've kind of maybe scaled the difficulty back a little bit, and we might see the real difficulty come along if there is an Iceborne or Sunbreak style big expansion down the line, where maybe a master rank sort of difficulty comes into it. Because yeah, I would say the game's easier than other Monster Hunters, certainly other more recent Monster Hunters. That's good and that's bad. I can't remember what weapon you tend to main, but like I'm a heavy, like a hammer guy.
I'm a dual blade.
It'd be interesting to see how it works for you. But what I feel like I've noticed, actually not noticed, like I'm really confident that basically it looks like monsters are kind of implementing either a light or heavy attack style thing now. So if I'm smashing away with my hammer, for example, and they decide to hit me with a light attack, it doesn't actually interrupt me. Like I can just keep hitting. But if it's a heavy attack, and they don't, I think you kind of learn them. It's not like there's any particular signposting that's any different. Like if they decide to swatch you with one of the heavier ones versus just a little swipe, you'll get bowled over. But you know, it kind of interrupts it, so it allows you to kind of wail on them a little bit more. I feel like the Palicos are more generous when it comes to vigor bugs and all those, you know, the ones that kind of replenish your health. The game's generous in ways that I don't think the other one was, but I have to admit, we obviously spoke about this at the time. We've got video and all those sort of things. It's not even that far into the game that you have to take on old mate Ray Dow. And after the way we got smoked by him in the beta, it was so satisfying to just kick his ass. And again, I don't think that's like a byproduct of the difficulty. It just turns out it was framed to be this really difficult high level thing. But by the time I actually got to him in the main game, which would have been 10 hours in, maybe 10 to 12 hours in, I was more than equipped. And rolled him in about 10 to 15 minutes solo. But I mean, it's Monster Hunter in a lot of ways. Like for good and bad, there's so many amazing things about Monster Hunter Wilds. The downside is that they just cannot tutorialize for the sake of them, like to save themselves. They don't really talk about the cooking systems at all, and that's changed. Like you can do that from your tent. You can set up your little. Remember how like you'd roast your meat or whatever in World?
Yes.
You set up like a little barbecue grill thing, and you can just cook from there. And it's like that's where you do your main meals and stuff. It's not working in the same way, but they don't really explain that. There's menu options when it comes to armor upgrades and those sorts of things that look like they should be available. And I was like losing my shit. Like, why the fuck can't I upgrade my armor, or why can't I do this and why can't I do that? But they've just kind of very, very gently grayed out the thing, so it looked like I should have been able to get there still, but couldn't. That was kind of infuriating. But like there's small things like that are annoying, but they just can't get in the way of the fact that the game is awesome to play. This will be, I mean, look, it's super early days, but this will be hard to beat, I think, for Game of the Year for me, despite the fact that it absolutely has some flaws. Like it's an imperfect game, but it's one that I've already put a couple dozen hours into. And I expect that I'll probably push it at least to 100 this year alone, let alone whatever I play in 2026 and beyond as well. This will be a fixture of my gaming for the whole year, which I kind of predicted at the beginning of the year. I think I joked to you, maybe it was even on an episode, that I expect that my top 3 games this year will be Monster Hunter World, with all the hours I put in January, Wilds for obvious reasons, and then probably going back to Rise at some point on PlayStation, just so that I can get that ticked off on PlayStation. I did it on the Switch, but to play it on the PlayStation too. So, yeah, it's gonna be a big Monster Hunter year, but it's awesome, mate. I'm looking forward to doing some co-op with you come Friday when it releases. I assume you're gonna go pick it up on day one.
Oh yeah, it is ready for pre-order.
So it's gonna be good. I mean, how does that all sound as I kind of talk about it?
Oh yeah. I don't need to be sold on it. Yeah. I already played the beta. I was like, yeah, I'm sold on it already. That was only 2 hours. I was like,
yeah,
I'm already there. I'm bored to take that raid. I just can't wait. Like you said, that raid down is there. I can take it down and go, yeah, up your raid down.
And actually, to the credit of them, so the monster design is one of the things that's really impressed me the most. So obviously, Ray Dow, we've kind of, it looks really, really cool. But it feels like they designed the environments first and then the monsters to fit the environments rather than, and I'm not to say that they did this the other way around before, but it feels like, it feels really, really deliberate here that they kind of fit the environment. Now, of course, as the game goes on, we know what Monster Hunter's like. Monsters will start to kind of go into different regions and those sorts of things, and you get sort of weird combinations of enemies coming together. But when you initially encounter them, everything just kind of fits. Like Nursilla was one of the monsters you see, this big spider-like thing that we've seen in some promo stuff.
Oh, yes.
The way it fits in its environments, there's kind of two different spider-like ones. The way Ray Dow works, the way... So, I mean, again, I don't want to spoil too many, and there's lots that I'm specifically not allowed to talk about pre-launch, but they're like, yeah, just the monsters really, really fit. I'm stoked with how they've done everything. Even the story, like you can see they've put more effort into the story. Now it is still just a Monster Hunter one, so it's still kind of throwaway for the most part. But you can see they've actually put in the effort, and they've tried to get quality acting, and they've tried to actually build a narrative that kind of fits and works. And you'll either love it or you just won't care about it. But
so also your character talks now too.
Yeah, he does.
Doesn't just grunt.
Yeah, no grunts. There's actual dialogue for him,
that threw me off. That threw me off with the first time. It was like, hey, you talk now? Like, not this.
It's some of that ridiculous stuff. So it's a nice little change. So that's Monster Hunter Wilds. I'll kind of save the rest for the review discussion that people can go and check out on the podcast feed, or go on the Player 2 YouTube channel as well. Go check it out there. Myself, Jason Hawkins, Matt Hewson. The video is available now. I've also and there's only 2 games I've been playing. There's some more that I've got access to that are embargoed. But I haven't actually gotten to start playing them because of Monster Hunter. So the other game that I have been playing has been Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, which I finished. After Ninja Gaiden destroyed me back in the day, I did start at the lowest difficulty level. I think they called it Hero Mode or something that they kind of added for plebs like me who are no good at these sorts of games. But I eventually got out of that. Like I eventually up the difficulty into, I think it's Acolyte or whatever, like the normal difficulty is. Played at that by the time I got to the end, which was a good feeling. So like, okay, cool, I can do this. I think the thing that I've come to realize is those old games just needed maybe a gentler onboarding for new players, give you the time to really start to understand the systems. But like I still remember just very distinctly being chewed up by Ninja Gaiden, the original Ninja Gaiden Black back in the day. So had a great time with this one. Highly encourage people to go check it out. Of course, thank you to Koei Tecmo for providing me a code for it, and the reviews sitting on the back end of the website. And because of Monster Hunter, it might sit there for another day or two, but it'll be out in the next couple of days. And I'm full of praise for it. Like, I'm very, very excited for Ninja Gaiden 4 now. And it does tempt me to go. There was the Master Collection they put out a couple of years ago, which also had those hero modes, like those more accessible sort of designs. I might go and check those out as well, just to get myself up to speed. Like the story, you could not care any less about the story. It is just a bunch of cool enemy designs. They've gone, yeah, this is sweet. Now, like, how do we weave some bullshit, nonsensical story together to justify Ryu Hayabusa going and killing him? And they do that. And I couldn't have cared less. And if the cutscenes didn't look so good because they've gone and done it in the latest Unreal Engine, then I probably would have just skipped it entirely because it was rubbish. But the gameplay experience was awesome. There's of course like the old Koei Tecmo boob physics that are absolutely ridiculous. Like all the talk about Stellar Blade last year, it's got nothing on what they're doing with those old Ninja Gaiden games. It's horrendous. But anyway, that's that one. What do you see yourself playing? I mean, sorry, outside of Monster Hunter Wilds, is there anything that you feel like you need to play this month? What about Xenoblade Chronicles X? Because you've obviously been kind of getting on the Xenoblades lately, and this one from the Wii U was an absolute gem. Mechs and all those sorts of things as well. Just say,
I'm gonna say
everything
no.
can wait. Everything can wait.
I think if anything, I might play Avowed, maybe.
Yeah.
But that's it. Nothing else is on the agenda. It's just Monster Hunter, and that's it.
No, fair enough. For me, there's actually quite a few. So obviously Monster Hunter, but I am in this fortunate spot where I've already put a lot of hours into it. Avowed is one for me as well, and Xbox have sent me a code so that I can go check that one out. Jess and Matt have already put together a whole bunch of content. I'm going to do a player 2 plays and then jump into the game myself at some point. But over the course of March, 2 Point Museum comes out. Really keen to play that. Split Fiction comes out, so the latest from fuck the Oscars and all, like, for I guess the flashbacks for everyone there. But obviously, damn it, It Takes Two. It Takes Two was the game of the year winner back in 2020, 2021, whenever he won it.
Something like that.
They've already got a new game. Xenoblade Chronicles X I plan on playing, and then of course at the end of the month, or towards the end of the month, actually same day as Xenoblade Chronicles X, Assassin's Creed Shadows comes out, which I've just learnt in the hours before us starting to record tonight. Copies have already started hitting shelves in different parts of the world. Like, it seems like some people didn't realize that the release date had changed from the old February 21st to now March 20th.
Oh.
So some retailers have been putting them on, and also it's weird that Ubisoft have sent it out as early as they have, given that, but the retailers have got them, and some people have now been playing it. But of course, the game is incomplete. Like, there's so many things that need to be patched in with the final launch that I'm a bit worried for the way people are going to be thinking about this game before it even launches, because people are going to be putting up screenshots of, I don't know, this could be Assassin's Creed Unity style memeage, and Ubisoft's going to be powerless to deal with it because the game won't be ready, and it wasn't meant to be ready yet. So
the new no face of 2020,
pretty much. So we'll see what comes of all that. But yeah, there's definitely a few. I'd like to also find the opportunity to play some Yakuza. Like, I'd really like to go and play some Yakuza 0. I feel like that's probably going to have to wait until maybe April, once this kind of big glut of games is out. Try and knock even over Yakuza 0 and then, use that as a jumping pad to go from there, because I'm looking for every excuse. I really enjoyed the time I spent with Pirate Yakuza, like a pirate, all those sorts of names that we want to give it. Really enjoyed my time with it, but of course I just don't want to dive into it properly because I want to play all the others. So that's where we're at with that one. Any other games springing to mind though?
None.
Nah, sounds good. All right, well, we'll wrap things up there for that episode. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All the buttons are down below. Hit the notification bell. That way you're alerted to every new video the moment it goes live on the channel. That includes Patched. There's Player 2 Plays. We've got a whole bunch of shorts going up, still from PAX. They're still coming out. Go check out all those little indies. They're super appreciative of what we're doing, and hopefully you enjoy the content as well. Some little insights into some awesome upcoming games. Visit the website, player2.net.au, for reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, links to the podcast series Patch, the Player 2 Pixelcast, and Dev Diary. Like I said before, check out the Monster Hunter Wilds review. The written one is up on the website. The review discussion is also live on YouTube and the Patch podcast feed as well. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au, kicking a few bucks. Lower tiers, early access. Higher tiers, monthly episode exclusives. And finally, there's the socials. Matto
_Phil.
Paul James Games for myself. The website is player2au. And until next time, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you later. Go play some Monster Hunter.